Yeah, so my name is Matt Koopman, college hockey player. Did 4 years at Providence College before using my fifth year of eligibility to go to UMass Amherst from Marblehead, Massachusetts, smaller town, about 20 minutes from Boston. I've always enjoyed the experience playing college hockey, and then the whole name, image, likeness kind of became a thing towards the end of my career, and was able to kind of capitalize off that, which was kind of crazy. All coming to seeing that all happen. Didn't really think anything of it really at first, and then here we are now. So
For sure. And like you said, we were a fifth year, so like you got to see NIL before it was even a thing, and like before coming into college athletics, and you couldn't capitalize on your name, image, and likeness to now being able to capitalize on it and do deals with brands like Dunkin. So how has NIL like had an impact on your college experience?
yeah, it was cool. I remember I was at Providence. Was told through our hockey ops guy to download the Open Doors app. I did that. It was just kind of to do so you could get like jersey or like T-shirt sales was kind of how it started. So you get a little compensation for that. Um, Again, not thinking anything of it really. Was always just kind of playing because you love playing hockey and you want to just have a scholarship playing and it's something you enjoy. And then taking it into UMass with being able to get hooked up with Dunkin there. I mean, it was something that all happened pretty quick. I didn't really think it was real at first when I kept getting messages on the Open Doors app. I remember going to the ops guy at UMass saying, is this legit? Is this real? He said, yeah, make sure you don't, pass up on that. So definitely was a cool experience doing that. Like something that they kind of let me be myself with. I really enjoy just getting my teammates involved with it, like having fun making the videos, something that kind of gave me a little distraction from the game of hockey too, which is always good.
For sure. And like for you, what was your reaction like when you first received that open doors notification of, hey, Duncan wants to work with you?
Yeah, it was right to the hockey ops guy. I thought someone was kind of messing with me. I didn't really know what was going on, so I had to kind of check it out a couple times. And then yeah, he said that they had reaching out, trying to do something through all sports and in college athletics, and I was kind of thinking, why am I the guy to get that? But I was obviously fortunate for that. It was something that I never really had I guess my Instagram, I never really kind of built that brand up, I guess, really. But I think with the NLI stuff, it really teaches you how to navigate through that, and something that in this day and age, it's really important is to build that up. And even without really knowing, I guess I already had a pretty good Instagram profile, I guess. But it kind of taught me how to navigate through that, building up that profile, having fun with it, and just exploring stuff through that too. It was cool to see.
For sure. And I think that's like a good call out too. Like I think a lot of athletes are a little bit scared off the bat where they're like, oh, I need to be having thousands and thousands of followers to get a deal. But it's like realistically, brands are always looking for like the story and the variety of athletes that they want to work with. And it's like we tell athletes that all the time. It's like if you just put in some effort to your Instagram, like you're gonna get deals. So I guess for you too, like going off of that, like what have been some lessons that you've learned through the brand building process and making some of these videos for Duncan?
Yeah, it was all stuff like I remember I would text one of my buddies to get a little help with. He runs he works for Action Sports Network and has a big TikTok following and all that. So I remember reaching out to him a couple times and just how to use downloaded an app called CapCut. It was called, just to help make the videos. He was great helping me through that and just being able to platform it. I think the biggest thing was it kind of took me out of my comfort zone. Like, not like you said, I don't have a huge follow, like a couple thousand on Instagram, nothing crazy. So it takes you out of your comfort zone, stuff I would never probably post of me making videos, shooting donuts across the ice, or walking into a cold tub doing that, like and posting Instagram stuff I never would have see myself doing. But it really made me branch out, and having that help with my buddy on making all those videos was great too, because now I can, if I ever need to keep doing little stuff where I can help other people too that have to make edits, whether it's for like a sports hype up video or whatever it is. So
Yeah, and taking that and transitioning into your professional career now in hockey, like what maybe are some of the skills that you're going to take into the pro side of things, and like do you anticipate yourself like kind of either getting or chasing down more deals as you're playing pro?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think keep the app open all the time. Even a couple smaller ones outside of Dunkin have reached out to try and partner up and do some things. It was just kind of tough trying to navigate through trying to find out where I was going to be playing pro. So I kind of took a little back step from that. But now with the summer coming up and having a little bit of free time, I'll definitely jump back in on that. In pro too, it's nice. You can have a different lifestyles compared to college, so there's a little bit more time on your hands. So I think it's something that if opportunities are there, and it's I'd say through the Open Doors app, it's great because you can kind of. And I told all my teammates both at UMass and at Providence to make sure they use that app and reach out to anybody on that app because even if it is just something small, it's I think I guess I was lucky in a sense where it was Dunkin was my first one, but um, you can start out small too, whether it's small little deals that can get you to that bigger one eventually. So
Yeah, that's a really good call out, and I'm glad that you're like encouraging your teammates to tap into it too. I know, like, not necessarily us at Open Doors, but there's like been some media people who are always asking like, oh, like, what is NIL like in the locker room? Or like athletes like competing for deals and stuff, and it's like no, for like the most part, like they're pretty supportive of each other from what we've seen. So I'm glad that you called that out. I guess too, like going into this brand building journey and doing the deals for Dunkin, kind of transitioning into your pro career, like what have been some of the challenges of these NIL opportunities so far, and what's been like I don't know, like the hardest part of navigating all of it?
yeah, it's kind of it's picking and choosing a little bit. Like for me, I remember just again jumping right in with Dunkin. Was nice having that. But you don't mean I didn't want to get like too caught up in all that just because you have to do balance the academic side of things with the also with the hockey side of it too, and then on top, I mean, there was a good amount of stuff with Duncan showing up to do some community things and making all those videos. So you didn't want to, I guess, overload yourself with. Not that it's a bad thing to have too many, but I think it was just for me just sticking with just that one for the start because it was my first one. I kind of just wanted to get the feet wet with it, and for me, like I said earlier, like it was just about when I first got into college, like just playing because you get the scholarship, you love playing the game. It's kind of where you've known your whole life, and now seeing kids not just in hockey but in other sports to take advantage of all that. I think it's great to see. So I mean, now through getting the pro career started, it's again trying to keep seeing what's out there, tackling whatever I can get onto, and um, again I keep encouraging teammates just to keep the options open, and whether it's starting small, like we had some little businesses around Amherst where I was at that were trying that would see some stuff with Duncan that they wanted to kind of help the guys in the team get compensated, whether it was with some free food or whatnot, just little stuff like that that goes a long way. So
Yeah, that's another really good call out. And I would say too, like I'm glad that at the end there you kind of mentioned the local community.
yeah,
And I know you were in Providence and then UMass, so kind of through those both of those experiences, you can touch on both. Like how did you lean in to the local community at all for NIL and either yourself or maybe your teammates?
yeah. So at Providence, it wasn't really. I guess there was a couple smaller like T-shirt brands, or there was like the jersey sales I was talking about, or a couple local smoothie shops in that sense. When I was just kind of finishing up my senior year, when it was getting big, you could kind of see just people would show up to your games, and then you might get them. Hey, I'll here's some tickets so we can kind of see where this goes, and then you kind of start networking it that way. You saw a lot of guys capitalizing on that, and then at Amherst too, there was another again couple. There was another burrito place, Bueno Asano, that came in. The name was the name of the place, and they came in with free T-shirts, gift cards, and they wanted to help us or make sure we post on our social media so they can help build up their brand a little bit because it's a smaller business, and through that they'd give us again the gift cards and T-shirts and burritos in that sense, and even like a couple local smoothie shops that all were around Amherst that wanted to get in because it's especially with our team, we had some guys that were whether it was NHL draft picks or like high profile guys that could have that maybe bigger brand on their Instagram that kind of they could work with. So it's good to see helping out in those senses. Like you can get a smaller area, smaller businesses like that trying to help out, and I guess it works both ways. So
Yeah, again, like another good call out, and I think some of the smaller local deals often get overlooked. So I'm glad that you mentioned those, especially, I don't know, in like the smaller campuses, communities, like there's a lot of opportunities out there. Like for every athlete, their first deal isn't going to be Dunkin', but they can go to that local smoothie shop and kind of find those opportunities through there. I know that you were at Providence before, and they're definitely, I would say, an Open Doors power partner. In fact, that they're pretty invested in the NIL education side. But from both Providence and UMass, like how were the schools in supporting your NIL education, NIL journey, and maybe what were the differences between the two schools?
yeah, I think both. The start of every season, you'd have a couple meetings just kind of going over the lay of the land through NIL. Providence, like you said, it was a bigger partner with you guys, so it was more in depth with that, just kind of going over how to navigate the app. They pull it up on the big screen and kind of show everybody how to use it, how to navigate through it. Again, it was something that when I first got it, I didn't think too much of, just again using it for those T-shirt and jersey sales. But then when you get to UMass, a little bit bigger school, they kind of laid everything out and kind of told you to make sure you do capitalize on these things. And they kind of had the similar pitch where they were showing all the athletes kind of how to navigate through NLI. Kind of what I guess if there's do's and don'ts for it too. That was kind of one thing I remember, and just it was showing examples of guys and girls that have had both. Have had good deals with certain brands and whatnot. So being able to, I guess, get an education on that, because again, for me, it was all pretty new. Like it was something that you don't think too much of really when it first starts, especially with college hockey. It's nice to see it grow a little bit and get have some traction in that sense. But both were great and kind of giving you a layout of what to expect through it. So.
Yeah, I'm glad too. Like you mentioned, like college hockey, like I think it was a little bit slower at first, and now we're starting to see it catch up a little bit more. Like I don't know, it's funny for me. It's like going to Minnesota. Like hockey is very much a revenue sport,
Yeah,
so you look at it at the same level as like football and basketball. But
yeah,
it's kind of funny. Like not all schools, it's like that. Like I think UMass is probably one of those two where it's very much like revenue on that same level as like basketball, football, all of that. But
yeah. Like
it's been
being from New
exciting to
England,
see
yeah,
it grow
being
a
from New
lot.
England, you see that just because it's like hockey's big. Even at both schools like Providence, UMass, you had great fan support, great student section. So you wouldn't, I guess, you branch out west a little bit more, it wouldn't be as huge or as popular. But like from in terms of in New England, or like you said, Minnesota, there's kind of powerhouses across the country that's kind of about getting the game grow a little bit. Hopefully, it can kind of make its way out west a little bit, and maybe even see some of those big time schools that have those football and basketball programs too. Maybe try and find a Division 1 team too. Be cool.
For sure. And I have one final question for you. It's kind of like a fun question, but if you could do an NIL deal with any brand, who would it be?
Wow, that's a tough one. I think any like I've seen a couple people with like car ones, like BMW and Mercedes would be kind of cool. Um, you get a lot of Chipotle. Chipotle would be awesome. Um, like the golf in the summer. It's hard. Sorry, I don't I can only pick one, but I'm just ripping off a couple. I'd honestly probably take a golf one, like a Titleist or like a TaylorMade, just because I think it'd be cool to have that. Kind of something that it's something from I know in hockey and golf kind of translate a little bit. Like when your season's done, it's kind of all right, little lay back a little bit, play some golf, kind of just relax a little bit. I think that'd be cool to have like a NLI or sponsorship with that. So
Yeah, I think those are all great options.